My name is Lauren. I'm 35 now, and I teach high school in Charlotte. 3 years ago I thought I had the perfect life in Atlanta. I thought I'd married my forever person. The man who would shield me, adore me, and stand beside me no matter what. His name was Ethan. He worked from home as a developer, so he was always there when I walked through the door after a long day with teenagers. Sometimes dinner was already on the table, sometimes we cooked side by side. He'd ask about my classes, really listen when I vented about essays and drama, and every single night he'd bring me a glass of water and what he called my wellness capsules. He'd kiss my temple, smile that warm smile, and say, "Can't have my girl running on empty." I melted every time. I trusted him completely, with my heart, my secrets, my future. I handed him everything, and trust, when it's placed in the wrong hands, can be lethal. Because the night I decided not to swallow those capsules anymore, the night I forced my eyes open and saw what was actually happening while I was asleep, my entire world collapsed. Every tender moment turned poisonous. Every, "I love you," became a blade. Every memory got stained. But before I take you through the darkness, I need 2 quick things from you. If this story is hitting you already, please tap that like button and subscribe. I need this to reach women who think they're just tired or forgetful. And drop a comment. Tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there right now. Knowing you're out there keeps me going. Trust me, you're going to need to hear how this ends. Let's go back to when everything still felt safe. Ethan and I met 4 years ago at an education tech conference. I was chaperoning students, he was giving a talk on online privacy. The irony still makes me sick. We dated for a year, got engaged, had a small, beautiful wedding. Everyone adored him. My parents, my friends, my coworkers. The first year was bliss. Weekend trips, painting walls in our new house, talking about kids someday. I was happy, stupidly, deeply happy. Then, about 8 months before it all exploded, Ethan got really into optimizing health. He came home with a big amber bottle of capsules he said he'd researched for months. Vitamin D, magnesium, ashwagandha, something for stress and sleep. You're on your feet all day, babe. You're exhausted when you get home. Let me look after you for once. He was so excited, so loving. Of course I said yes. At first it felt amazing. I'd take them, sleep like the dead, wake up refreshed. Then the cracks started showing. I'd wake up drained instead of rested. I'd lose the thread mid-lesson in front of 30 teenagers. I'd forget entire conversations Ethan swore we'd had the night before. "Babe, you said you were cool with me redoing the basement," he'd say. I'd stare at him blank. He'd chuckle, "You were half asleep, it's fine." I started finding texts I didn't remember sending. Short, weird, nothing like how I type. I'd go to bed in sweats and wake up in silk I didn't recall putting on. Little bruises shaped like fingers on my arms. When I asked, he'd look worried, say maybe I was thrashing in my sleep, maybe I needed more iron. He even booked a doctor's appointment for me, sat in the waiting room holding my hand like husband of the year. Blood work came back fine. Doctor suggested stress, wrote a script for low-dose anxiety meds. Ethan picked them up same day. More pills to swallow without question. I still wasn't scared. I was confused, embarrassed, convinced I was losing it. Then my best friend Mia called me at school and said, "Lore, you were off last weekend. Sluggish, eyes glassy, like you were on something." I laughed it off, but the vitamins and the new meds, that's all. But the seed was planted. A week later I came home early on a half day and saw something I'd never seen before. A brand new padlock on the bottom drawer of Ethan's desk. His office was supposed to be private for client work, and I'd always respected that. But a physical lock, my stomach dropped. When I asked, he didn't even glance up from his phone. New client, government-level security stuff, no big deal. He changed the subject to dinner plans. But that lock haunted me. I started watching, really watching. Every night he'd stand there until I swallowed. If I hesitated he'd get this flicker across his face. Panic, then a tight smile. One night I pretended to be asleep and heard him on the phone in the hallway, voice low, "Yeah, Tuesday works. Same rate. She'll be completely out, don't worry." My body locked up. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. By morning I'd convinced myself it was a nightmare. But I couldn't unhear it. So I started palming the capsules, spitting them out in the bathroom. He caught on fast. Started asking me to lift my tongue, just to be silly. The joke wasn't funny anymore. The night I decided to stay awake no matter what, he brought the glass at 10:30 sharp. The capsules tasted bitter, wrong. I pretended to swallow, tucked them in my cheek, and when he left I flushed them. Then I fought sleep like it was a living thing trying to drag me under. I bit my cheek till I tasted blood. I counted backwards from 2000. I thought about every red flag I'd ignored. He checked on me twice. I played dead. At 2:09 a.m. I heard the basement door. We never used the basement. I waited 5 endless minutes, then crept downstairs in the dark. Pressed my ear to the door. Ethan's voice. "She's good for hours." Same as always. Another man, rough voice. "She's really out." Ethan laughed. Actually laughed. Completely. Won't remember a thing. I stumbled back upstairs before I threw up, crawled into bed shaking so hard the mattress vibrated. An hour later he slipped in beside me like nothing happened. The next morning he made pancakes and kissed my forehead and asked how I slept. I smiled with a mouth that felt sewn shut and said, "Amazing." That day I bought 2 wireless cameras with cash. One hidden in the bedroom, one in the basement vent. I set the feed to a new cloud account he didn't know existed. For 4 nights I flushed the pills and lay there listening to him move through the house like a stranger. On the 5th morning he left to meet a friend for lunch. The second his car was gone I opened the footage. I thought I was ready. I wasn't. The bedroom cam showed exactly what I feared. Him watching me swallow, checking my pulse, going through my phone, changing my clothes, arranging my body while I lay limp. The basement cam was worse. Men. Different men. Cash handed over. Ethan leading them downstairs where he'd set up lights and a camera on a tripod. He was selling photos and videos of me unconscious. Some nights they just looked. Some nights, I couldn't watch long enough to know the full extent. I saw enough. Hundreds of files. 7 months of nights I thought I was safe in my own bed. I backed everything up 6 different ways, packed a bag, and drove to Mia's shaking so hard I almost wrecked. We called the police from her house. Detective Harris and her partner came within 20 minutes. I showed them 30 minutes of footage. Detective Harris jaw-locked. "We're getting you a protective order today, and we're getting him today." They raided the house the next morning. Found the hard drives in the locked drawer, the fake vitamin bottles full of crushed Rohypnol, the date rape drug, payment logs in crypto, customer names. Ethan was arrested in his office parking lot in front of everyone he worked with. He called me once from jail, crying, claiming it was only photos, that he needed money, that no one ever touched me. I told him I hoped he rotted and hung up. The trial was hell. 8 months of reliving it. His lawyer tried to say I consented, that the drugs were for my anxiety, that I was unstable. The jury took 6 hours to find him guilty on every count. The judge gave him 20 years, no parole for 15, lifetime sex offender registry. I sold the house, donated most of the money to Rain and a local shelter, moved to Charlotte, started over. Therapy twice a week. New locks. New life. 2 years later I still jump at shadows sometimes. I still count ceiling tiles when I can't sleep. But I teach again. I laugh again. I'm dating a man who waits for yes every single time and never flinches when I need to check his phone at 3 a.m. because the nightmare's won. Ethan didn't break me. He hurt me in ways I'll carry forever, but he didn't win. If you're watching this and something feels off, the way he watches you take those pills, the gaps in your memory, the bruises you can't explain, the texts you didn't write, please listen to that voice telling you something's wrong. You're not crazy. You're not imagining it. Get out. Get proof if you can, but get out. You deserve to sleep without fear. You deserve to own your own body. You deserve to be believed. I'm Lauren. I'm still here. And if I can crawl out of that hell, so can you. If this helped even one person, share it. Drop a comment, city and time. Let me know I'm not talking into the void. Stay alert. Trust your gut. You are worth protecting. I'll see you in the next one.